Hello everybody and welcome back to Tin Can. As always, I am Dor, and today we're going to go ahead and give this 20-minute run another go. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is not ignore myself when I tell myself that the fuse is bad, and that's what's going to need to change, because I could have sworn I read out the error codes and I said, oh, the fuse is bad, and then I completely ignored myself when it came time to fix the machine and try and get our oxygen going again. So it ended up killing us and we ended up wiping, and then I tried to do it again, and then I don't know what happened that second time, honestly, because everything just kind of seemed to stop working all at once there. So I'm not too sure about that one, but this time we're going to try and actually survive a little bit longer. If we can go ahead and grab another set of batteries, that would be fantastic. So we have 10 seconds. We need to probably grab a power button, which we don't really want to risk dying for, so never mind. And let's go ahead and get this rolling right off the bat here. So hopefully we have power switches in this, because if not, then we are kind of boned, but we do indeed. So thankfully for us, that's going to happen. We can go ahead and put the pump and the battery in there, and that's squared away. The thing doesn't need to turn on just yet because we don't have anything in there. Let's go ahead and open up this guy and swap over all of the screens. Like always, let's go ahead and turn this on. We need to go ahead and put a fuse in there. What do we need to put in there again? We need the filter. There we go, not the fuse. And that should be that. We need the power converter thing, or the power connector thing, which is over on the other ones there. Let's go ahead and take these guys out really quick and just swap them just to go ahead and get it done with early here. That can go there. We can go ahead and open up this one and take that one and swap them. And then all we need left to do is to go ahead and get these things off of battery power, which they kind of started on battery power already. I don't know why, but let's go ahead and clear the filters before we close the drawers here, and then we can go ahead and sort our stuff here. So let's go ahead and plop one of these in here off the bat, so we don't have to worry about putting one in there, so we can break it down at least. We got those things squared away. We can put all the batteries away as well. Let's go ahead and close all these drawers and squish all these in here. And then all we have left is a pump on the ground and a data cable and a fuse. So we have a spare pump, so that's nice. We have a data cable that actually can go into this guy here, so we don't have to fumble around for it later. Let's put the on-off button in there as well. And then we can go ahead and put the fuse and the battery in there, actually. I forgot to do that. And that should be the repair thing up and running if we need it. So let's actually break this thing down. We are going into an ice nebula, so that's nice right off the bat. Nothing too difficult here. Let's go ahead and break this down. I guess we have to close the door. Yep, we had to close the door. I didn't realize that. Let's go ahead and take that now that it's broken, and we'll go ahead and swap the good one from the back to the front and put the bad one in the back. And we can go ahead and take the power thing from the emergency lights, I suppose, and put it into this guy over here, so it's not running on battery power. And I didn't even think about it. I just put it in there. I should have turned the power off before I shocked myself. That probably would have been a good idea. The tanks are full. This can go ahead and turn off. We have to go ahead and put a power connector in there and a fuse to go ahead and charge some of the batteries. So we don't have any fuses, unfortunately. Can we turn this thing off just for a second so we can put that in there? And then we should be good so we don't get shocked again. Or actually, that needed a fuse last time, right? Because that's what killed us. Anyways, we don't have any spare fuses, so we can't actually put anything in there even if we wanted to. So this drawer is completely empty. We don't have to keep opening that one. And let's see. So we're about to go into the ice thing, so we're about to get really cold. And let's turn that thing over to the hazard lights. These guys are all good. I do want to charge the batteries before we actually roll into it. So let's actually... I guess never mind, because now we're in this. So let's turn this thing off because we're in the ice thing. It's not really going to matter. And we need to actually keep an eye on that gauge just to be certain that that's not going to matter. And I think it's going to be this one here. The pod temperature is going to be what's controlled by that thing. And then these guys should all run pretty continuously, except for this one. It might die in between the ice storm here because we already kind of drained a little bit of the power out of it. But for the most part, we should be kind of okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn the gravity generator off as well so we don't drain that battery. And never mind, it's a little too late for that. We can just turn it off now. We have a little bit of power in that. And turning that off gave us a little bit more power in our thing here because we don't have so many things pulling power from it now. And so I'm trying to think what else is running on this, because we have those three things running on power, trying to run on the main power here. I think that might be running on the main power. The lights are probably running on the main power. So let's actually turn the main lights off and turn the hazard ones on, or the emergency ones on. And that's going to give us even more power in the main line here to hopefully power through this and not have these things die on us. And they're still running, but it does say that they are are still on battery power, so we might be not doing anything at all, actually. The gauges on the tanks aren't dropping too much. The heat in here is dropping, though, so that might cause a little bit of an issue here in a second. But everything else seems kind of fine. We'll go ahead and turn the normal lights back on in a second when we get through this thing, and then we have to turn everything else back on as well, so we don't run into any issues there. We do have an error on our atmospheric thing, which is 9 loft, which I do believe is a battery that doesn't have any power in it, if I could remember the codes off the top of my head. But I'm actually trying to look at the thing now. Yeah, low batteries. So yeah, that means the battery is completely dead, so we're not getting any power through that, but we are getting a little bit of power through the power line. So as long as the fan keeps spinning, this thing should keep running. It's just going to try and conserve some energy by turning off the monitor, I believe. So we can take this out and everything should keep spinning. Yes. Okay, cool. So let's actually put this in the charger so we know to charge it, and then we can take this battery and just plop it in there for a second to go ahead and waste whatever little bit of battery is in that. And then let's go ahead and check our gauges to make sure that we aren't about to start suffocating. We are not about to start suffocating. We are getting a little chilly in here, so we might have to flip the atmosphere thing on, or the heating thing, before we get too cold in here. And is the storm almost done? Can I see through the window of like the ice cloud? No, we can't, but this thing is off, so let's go ahead and swap that battery, because that's kind of more important for us to have constantly running here. So we have 12 minutes left, or I guess just about 13 minutes, 12 minutes and 38 seconds. So as that gets closer and closer, we should be able to go ahead and exfil this time around. But I'm about to go ahead and turn the heat back on, because as soon as that goes into the red, I'm going to flip that on whether we can support it with the power or not, because I don't really want to freeze to death, and that would be really bad. The atmosphere is still being produced, so that's good. Let's go ahead and hang out near this thing, and then we'll just go ahead and zoom in on the node thing there. And I think it is into the red just now. So let's go ahead and actually turn this on. It's going to run on battery power, so we should be okay. And you know what? Actually, let's take this out and then turn this on so it's fully on battery power and we're not straining the generator any. Let us also go ahead and take a look at our tanks, because those are pretty low, I think. So all the batteries are pretty much dead and the tanks are just about empty as well. So let's actually swap these out before we run into issues on not having enough air in our system here. So there's the air tank. Let's go back over here and plop you in there. So that's going to be that. We are pretty much out of battery power on the top one there, and then we are basically out of power on the carbon monoxide one as well. And we can flip that on to run on some battery power to go ahead and charge the tanks up a little bit here. And as long as the fans keep spinning, we should be okay. So I'm not too worried about it just yet. And if those fans stop and those lights turn off, then we're really in trouble. We are heated up again. We are also through the atmosphere, or the ice thing, so we can actually turn this thing back to how it was. So let's go ahead and turn the normal lights back on. We can turn the emergency lights off. And what do we need for that thing? We need a fuse and we need a on-off switch, I believe, right? So this thing should have some stuff in here for us, right? We have a fuse and we have an on-off switch. And I forgot I turned off the gravity, so we have to actually like chuck this stuff, grab, and then place it like that. There we go. And then we can put this guy in here, and we can charge up the battery that's in the box right now. Actually, no, we didn't put the power connector in there. I thought I put it in there. It's actually over in the drawer, and I just went past it. So let's grab it from the drawer, and we can go ahead and just shove it in there like that. And then we should be good to charge, and we are indeed. Okay, good. Let's close that. I think this thing is completely dead on battery power, right? So let's actually shove a battery in there. I'm going to take the power connector off of it because I don't want this thing pulling power, and then we'll just flip the switch over and over again as we want gravity, because we don't really need it, to be honest, but it's kind of nice to have every now and again. So let's take that so we don't run any power off the generator, and then we can go ahead and turn the gravity on for a split second here and get around a little easier. So let's go ahead and close that and open up this guy. We can plop that in there. We can go ahead and charge another battery because this one's empty, or this one's full rather, and we can put that one in there and charge it as well. But what's beeping? So the generator here is beeping because we are not producing enough heat in the system, and then all of our other stuff here turned off, so we actually need to get these things up and going. So let's go ahead and put the batteries in there if we can. And the generator actually just turned off because we got hit with something. So let's go ahead and crawl our way over here, put the battery in there. This should turn on, I think. Oh, you know what? The fuses might be bad again. That would be really bad. I also need to turn the emergency lights back on, which I already stripped, so that's not good. Let's take the the fuse and put it in there because I think we need that to operate the lights. And there we go. We have some lights, and let's go ahead and wiggle our way back over here because we need these things on, and we need to do it pretty quickly here because we are running low on oxygen. What are the error codes? MPAA is a bad fuse. I got that burned into my head again. And then 017H was something else that I can't quite remember off the top of my head. And I don't want to burn any time looking at the error codes here. So let's go ahead and repair this thing and shove it in there as soon as we can. We need the air being produced. We need the carbon monoxide getting scrubbed out of the air here. There we go. It took a second, but we got that one done with. Let's actually go up here and plop it in there before we start suffocating. That should turn on. It's going to start beeping because I think it's going to try and pull on battery power. What is 017? I need to figure that out while we're trying to do this. So MPA on there as well? Yes, it is. Okay, so let's take the fuse and let's go ahead and repair that guy as well. Electromagnetic thing coming through, so we have to turn everything off again, but I need to scrub the system here before we do that. So this thing is fixed. Let's go ahead and put it in there if we can. We're going to die because we can't float fast enough. Do that. Turn on. We need... Okay, so we are scrubbing. We are good. The alarms are all going off again. The atmosphere needs to turn on as well if we can. And what are you? You're also a bad fuse. So, oh no, the thing's not off. I thought it was off. Let's turn that off if we can. Is our battery charging over there? It's kind of important that we have that battery charged because we need to turn things on. That battery is completely drained in the generator or the gravity. Oh, the battery over here didn't charge at all. We have 5.5 minutes left. Can we charge you? We are charging good. That's fantastic. Although I think it just broke. And we're about to have a whole bunch of stuff break on us because we didn't turn our stuff off before we rolled in here. And we really can't afford turning everything off anyways. So actually, let's try and do that quickly. If we're able to, we might be able to get everything turned off before we run into any issues. And can we get over here and turn this stuff off? So we need all of this to go ahead and swap onto battery power and battery power only. So we need to take these things out. Hopefully we can do that before we get hit by a power thing here or a lightning bolt. So we can get these things to work during the thunderstorm here, and we can hopefully get our oxygen levels back to something that's useful for us. So that battery is not completely charged over there on the charger, but it's going to have to do. And we have a KAON2 and something else, but I don't really want to look at it right now. Let's go ahead and grab the battery from this. It's completely empty. That's terrible. Let's take the battery from this, I guess, because this still has some charge in it, and we can go ahead and put it... This guy's already functioning. It's already got a full charge battery in there. Okay, so we can go ahead and put this in the atmosphere one. Okay, and all we have left is the 2NOA pretty much, and that's just battery power. So we're not too worried about that. We need to take a look at our gauges. We are perfect on oxygen. We are great on breathability. We need our temperature thing to go ahead and get some battery power because that is dangerously low right now. And the only thing that has a battery in it that I can think of is going to be the lights right here. So do the normal lights have a battery? They do not. I think the repair thing has a battery, right? Yeah, the repair thing has a fully charged battery. Okay, let's go ahead and swap these guys out. And it can go there. That's going to go ahead and start cooling the thing down for us. And we desperately need that right now. The rescue beacon is down, so that's not great for us. Okay, and the 017K error code right there is telling us that the alarm is bad. So no matter how many times we click on that, it's just going to constantly be going off. So there's really nothing we can do about that except repair the thing. But we did just go through this storm here, so we can go ahead and turn our reactor back on without any issues of things getting short-circuited or anything like that. So we should be good. We are going to go ahead and start charging the batteries as fast as we can here. So that's going to start charging. We can go ahead and start charging the air tanks as well because we need those to go ahead and swap over for the other ones. Okay, and then we need to go ahead and grab a battery and put it in there so we can charge the tanks. Something just broke because we are in the middle of one of the asteroid storms now. So we're going to charge up as many... Actually, I don't want to charge that battery because I want to take a look at our temperature, and the temperature is fine. So actually charge you if we can. And let's go ahead and see where we're looking like on the main reactor. The gauge on the reactor is very high, but it's not so high just yet. We have a bad alarm, and we're on battery power still. Did I take the power connector out of this thing? I did, and I totally forgot that I did. We need to go ahead and get a power connector back into that. I think we took some out of other things that we need to actually go ahead and turn back on as well because I totally forgot about it. So let's actually turn this off for a split second so we don't get shocked. And we can place that there. That can go ahead and run on the main power now. The battery for this thing is completely charged, and I don't want to risk going any hotter on the reactor here. And let's see, where did I take the power connector things from? Because we are probably running out of something, and it looks like oxygen might be it. These guys don't have their power connectors. This guy has its power connector, but it's not on. That's not a great sign. Okay, well, it lit on fire, and then it turned itself out. I didn't even have to use the fire extinguisher. Okay, so we need to grab our power connectors from over here, and we need you to go into the oxygenator before we start suffocating, which is dropping very, very quickly. You can go ahead and turn on, please. Turn on, please. That's not great that it's not turning on. Error code, really don't have anything there. We're not producing enough heat for the power to go ahead and generate right now. And we die. Oh, no, we didn't die. Okay, I thought we just died. The storm passed. So let's actually take the battery that we just charged, and we need to go ahead and get it into the things over here. And now can we turn that on now that it has a full battery in it? Yes, the fuse is bad again. Okay, so that's why it's not turning on. And then this thing needs to turn on. Oh, you know what? It can't turn on because it doesn't have a thing. So let's take that out of there, turn this on, and drop that one. Take it and put it in there. Please start scrubbing the atmosphere. We really need you to clean the atmosphere. The fuse is bad. Let me actually start trying to get some things squared away here because everything is just floating around right now. How are we looking on the timer? Are we going to survive this thing? No, the thing is off. We have nothing in there generating power for us. Our gauges are slowly going up. Okay, so that's good. Are you still going up? Yes, the temperature is really high right now, though. So we need to go ahead and fix a fuse, and let's actually take a fuse from here. Did I take the fuse out of this one already? I might have took the fuse out of this one already. I don't see a fuse, but I do have a power connector that isn't going to be getting used out of the main light system anymore since we're just kind of running on the emergency ones regardless. So we can plop that in there. That's going to start pulling the normal power, and I need an extra fuse that I can kind of juggle while that's going. I don't want to mess with the light one. Let's plop that in there for right now and take this fuse. And then we can swap fuses really quick, turn that off, take the fuse, swap it, and plop it on. And don't tell me this fuse was bad too, was it? No, that fuse was okay. Okay, cool. We need to turn our CO2 scrubber back on. For some reason it turned off. And the fuse on that thing is also bad. Okay, so we need to go ahead and close that and plop that in there. Can we actually run this thing? We can. So we're going to waste the last remaining bits of... Oh, it actually turned off because we don't have enough power for it? Yep, that's what just happened. Okay, well, we're in the safe zone here, so we don't have to kind of scramble and worry too much here. So if we go ahead and take our time here, we can go ahead and get things turned back on. So what is missing out of this thing? The power connector and the battery are both dead. There's really not much we can do about that. The lights look like they just got a darker shade of red. That was kind of ominous. Can we charge any batteries now, or are the fuses and stuff on this thing dead? They might be okay. The alarm stopped over there. We can turn this off for a second. We might actually want to go ahead and put the other thing back on the main little gravity generator here because I am getting a little annoyed of having to float around and grab things right now. If we can actually support this thing on, then we should probably have it on. And where does this thing go? There we go. Hopefully this can go ahead and kick back on so we can start walking around again. And I don't think we have enough power coming through the line. So let's take the batteries, and where's our beacon thing? There it is. Oh, you know what? There we go. We're walking again. Cool. So let's go and swap those out. We have 48 seconds. Can we survive for 48 seconds? We are... Oh, stop that, stop that, stop that. We are very, 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 very hot because this thing has been off this whole time. I did not realize that turned off. Oh, that is so bad. Turn the reactor off, please. We need to take this, and we need to take that, and we need to chuck them, and then we need to take this one, and actually we don't have anything in there right now, so we can't actually do anything with it. Oh, you know what? We might have a good fuse. Hold on. Let me grab the battery and put it in there. Did we just die? No! Okay, so we literally almost completed that. We had like 30 to 40 seconds left on the clock there, and we actually died because we didn't pay attention to the heat on our generator, which kind of came back to bite us because I thought the power was going down, or the heat in the generator was going down because we weren't charging anything, and we were kind of not charging it like back to back. We were kind of spacing it out, but I guess we were just ramping up the heat in the thing, and it was just taking a little while to catch up, so we never actually gave it enough time for the reactor to cool back down. And then it didn't actually help us any that we didn't have the temperature thing on the top of the cabin there actually running, because we took the power connector out of it, totally forgot that we did that, and then when we realized that we weren't producing enough power to actually run the thing, so it drained the battery that was in it, and then we basically didn't realize that it was off because we had all the alarms on everything going off at that point, that it was kind of just blending in with the rest of the noise, and we never switched it back on, and it kind of came back to bite us because we just died from being too hot in there. But that's actually going to go ahead and be it for today's episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.